Hey, what's going on, everybody?
It's
Can you hear
good.
How's it going?
It's all good.
There he is. I think we've got more people coming on. I don't know exactly what time. I don't know where everybody lives at either. So I know a hurricane happening, and I don't even know what it's at this point. But hopefully we'll have some more guests show up. And if you want to be a guest, give me a shout out on Instagram and I'll add you to the stage. All right, let's see what we got going on. Mr. James, number 1. How's it going? Hi, Miss Melinda. Oh, Miss Banna, I love your logo. A1 Exotics. So is that Santos or Santos? Santos. I'm terrible with names, y'all. Hey, Jen. Hey, James. So I actually did my first TikTok live today as a guest, and that was kind of neat. Hey, John, how's it going, man? Do either one of y'all mess with TikTok any?
I don't TikTok.
I don't TikTok either. I'm too old for the stuff.
Hell, I have enough trouble keeping up with my Instagram shit.
Right. Yeah, it was pretty neat. It was John's Creations. I don't know if you guys have heard of him. But basically, they give you 20 minutes to show off your animals, and it was pretty fun. And it didn't take too long, and I was in and out in no time.
One of these days, I'm going to get on here when I'm at home and I can show something off.
Yeah.
I think ever since I've been doing this, every time we've done it, I've been somewhere besides home.
Well, you're at good places though, fishing.
And next weekend won't be any different. I'll be at Jacksonville next weekend at a reptile show. So if I'm on here next week, it'll be from a hotel room again.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming on and taking your time. And will everybody that shows up, I know it can get difficult. And I know when I go to shows, I have Bobby run this, so I don't have to. Because when I'm at the shows, I usually like to go out and hang out with the other breeders and, maybe have a couple of drinks. So, Royal Serpents, how's it going? Anybody have any eggs this week?
I had 2 clutches this week. Finally, it was like my freaking females have really let me down this year. I was expecting 20 clutches, and it's looking right now like maybe I might be lucky to get 15 again. But the ones I'm getting are good ones, I think. But the 2 I had this week, one of them is a blackhead leopard double het lavender clown female paired with a grail male. So I hope I get my first grails out of that clutch.
Right.
And then I had a black pastel double het clown pied female paired with my yellow belly clown pied male. So maybe get some clown pieds there. I'd like to have some, clown pieds with gene females to keep. And,
yeah.
My ultramel pied clutch that I cut last week just started to shed, and I was sexing some of them the other day, and the only ultramel pied in the clutch is a male, so he's going to be for sale. And I did hit a ultramel het pied female and a pied het ultramel female. So I'll probably keep both of those, and then there's 2 double hets. I didn't even sex them. I don't know what they'll be, but they'll be for sale.
Yeah.
And then there's one other pied het ultramel that's a male. So I'll end up with 2 out of 6 there that I keep. And I got a clutch to cut tomorrow that's only 3 eggs, but it's out of a acid cinnamon pastel female paired with the grail. So they're all going to be double heck grails. I'm hoping to at least hit the acid in some of those. It'd be wonderful if I could hit the acid and the cinnamon.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't mind having. Obviously, all the females are staying from that clutch.
Right.
So I've got a few others that are close. I've got a really big girl that's she's super inchy, fire, OD, yellow belly, and
Oh, there he is.
she's paired with both of my dreamsicle males. I put the OD dreamsicle and the inchy dreamsicle with her, so she could make some pied het labs, and those probably most of those will be for sale depending on what the genes are. I might keep one back.
Yeah.
To throw in with my dreamsicle stuff, and then I've got an inchy lav het pied female that's paired with my inchy cinnamon dreamsicle male. It's getting close. She ovulated over the weekend, last weekend. So that's kind of an exciting clutch too. Maybe I can hit some super inchy dreamsicles or inchy cinnamon dreamsicles.
Right.
OD inchy dreamsicles, depending on which one's the daddy. So.
What about you, Will?
I just hatched out a clutch of 5 pieds. It looks like at least a couple of them are het VPI. They're looking very silvery. So I'm waiting for them to shed, and we'll see. But it's exciting.
I'm Melinda.
Hey guys, I probably have this too tall.
I'm just pulling out some clowns that I got off auction. Just inspecting them. No, can never go wrong with more clowns.
Oh, let's see. Let's see.
What do we have? Well, we have a male spot nose clown here and just a female clown. I have 9 of them here in bags, so I'm just looking through. There we go. There's the camera. Maybe I can figure out how to use them. The one that I really wanted out of all these was a red stripe spot nose clown, which I haven't opened up yet. But yeah, it's fun. I have a couple of female spot nose clowns here. I think I have a male orange stream clown. Just going through, looking at them, making sure they're all okay, and then I have to figure out what I'm going to do with them. And there's one in here that's supposed to be a digger, so I want to get some eyes on that and see if that's something I potentially might want to work later.
Right.
Reading these labels. My spinal red stripe is right here.
Yeah.
Let's take a look.
Everybody likes looking at snakes.
I know, that's why we're all here. Look at that.
Oh,
this
wow.
One here's the spinal red stripe. That one's cool.
Yeah.
What is that one again?
It's a spot nose red stripe clown.
I got a red striped yellow belly clown going to a lesser GHI het clown female.
Well, I don't have any red stripe in my collection. I had a male that I was raising. I popped up in a tub one day, and its belly up. I don't even know what happened. He was eating fine, so that was a little upsetting. But this one's a female, not a male, so it'll take a little longer to grow up. But she looks great.
Hey, Patrick. Melinda, wasn't it that blackhead clutch you hatched out when I was watching on the live?
Yeah.
Do you have any of those left?
I still have everything. I haven't. See, the thing is, when I first began, this is my 5th season going in. So I don't have a whole lot of powerful stuff. And I'm like, my Orange Dream clown pied, he wasn't eating, so I couldn't breed him to the girl that laid. And I'm like, do I keep both of the males so I have a backup for a backup? Or do I let one go? If I let one of the males go, it was that black pastel yellow belly. And that clown. Let me get him out real quick. He might be in shed. And I was debating if I was still going to keep this guy. They're starting to eat really good.
He's so pretty.
So, and the yellow belly on these guys are really strong. So this is 100% het pied too, because mom was the pied.
Oh.
So, there was not a lot of information with the Barnhart Black Pastel, how much to sell them for. So when it comes to prices, I am so confused. I don't want to overprice them and I don't want to underprice them for the best value because I need other stuff too.
Right.
Like I'm running out of rack space right now. And if I got rid of anything, it'd probably be him. But I still got those other two to test out, and they're het for pied, but they're also I've got to test them for the clown because it was a head-to-head on the clown, and I got 4 clowns out of it where I should have only got 2. So I got 2 females and 2 males. Hold on a minute, I forgot this light isn't. Let me turn this light on. Maybe you can see it better. Because he is very dark. Hold on a second. There it is. And my light ain't working. There it goes.
There you go. I still think he's so pretty.
Because trust me, I could use the money right now.
There's a lot of that going around too.
Yeah.
But right now, I feed them like every 5 days. I do that until about 200 to 300 grams. And then I switch it to every 7 days until the males are 500 grams or the females are 1,000 grams. Unless they're flying out of the tub acting like they're hungry all the time.
I used to feed hatchlings every 5 days, and I've switched to every 7 now. I start them out that way, and it seems like I keep them eating a lot better. You know, they're
I
7 days. 7 days they're ready to eat, and
Right.
what I've done is kind of I upped the size of the meal probably a little quicker by doing them every 7 days. Where I was feeding every 5, I fed a little bit smaller meal.
Yeah.
So I upped the size a little and went to every 7. It works a lot better for my schedule, and they seem to do just as well. I've out of 5 clutches this year, 20. I forgot how many. 20. I think I've had 27 was the most I had at any one time.
Now this is
I haven't had a
automatically
hatchling
cheaper.
refuse a meal.
Yeah.
So I like it. I like it when they eat.
Me too. Hey, Tara. Hey, Jamie. Patrick asked what the first one was you were showing off.
The black pastel?
Yeah, Barnhart Black Pastel.
Yellow belly. 100% hep hide.
That one's pretty too.
Now this one's definitely a holdback. And this other girl, she's starting to go in shed. And she's trying to get away from me. Because I don't have in her tub controlling her. Now these are the 2 females I'm keeping. But I am going to keep one of the males. But they're... Girl! Hey! It's not stay time. She has this pillow. It says stay and it has crinklies.
Oh,
See? That's what she was
that's
messing with.
cute. That's good, Jamie.
Awesome. But like, I have no idea what some of these are. I believe this is the black pastel, chocolate, Mojave, and leopard clown hat for pied.
Male or female?
These are both females.
You lucky.
Well,
And
those are
this one,
gorgeous.
this one probably has the same thing, but without black pastel. This one's the chocolate. Oh, Dad was chocolate. When I was saying a lot of those names, I would forget a name or forget she was pied or something.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. And
What
there
other?
are 2 that are going to be available, but they're probably going to be double het
Mhm.
if they test out for clown. But I've got a female and a male, and those are definitely going to go.
Can you show those off?
Yeah.
What you got, Will? I see you doing something over there.
Oh, I'm just pulling out these hatchlings. I haven't even really looked at them yet because no, they're all just going into shed now. We might as well look at them together.
Yeah.
All right. The pairing was a Pastavi pied het VPI to just a regular pie. But I mean, they're nice looking. Well, although I'm not such a huge fan of high white pies. I have 3 in here that are really high white. Let me see if I can grab them out of this giant snake pile
Hey,
without getting
Chris.
bit. Look at all 3 of these. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, this one has a fair bit of pattern, but the other 2. Yeah, it'll be interesting trying to figure this out with just a head and no real pattern.
I would not mind having a pair of those.
Oh, you are welcome to them. If there's a girl in here that's het VPI, I'd probably keep one. But other than that, they can all go. With like 60, 70 hatchlings, I'm kind of fried. And then these are the last 2. I think one of these is just a pied, and the other one might be a pastel pied. Oh, there's the head.
Mm.
But, I mean, they are nice looking.
Yeah, they are.
So that's pretty cool. I mean, when Mama laid the eggs, they looked a little small. That they only weighed in at 60 some odd grams a piece. So I was worried that these guys would be tiny, but no, they look like normal sized snakes. So I'm pretty happy with that.
Now, this is the male. I believe this is everything in both of these double heads. Black pastel, chocolate Mojave, leopard, orange stream, yellow belly. Except for fire. I don't think fire's in these. Mom had fire. And this is
That's
the male.
pretty.
So I'm getting these 2 tested for het clown.
Mm-hmm.
They are guaranteed het pied.
Very nice.
But I believe both of these are the exact same thing. That's the male, and I'll show you the female. One might have yellow belly and one might not. almost identical, but this one's crazier.
That is crazy looking.
And she's not cooperating.
They never do they?
No, I'm trying to show her face, and she wants to show me her face.
She's pretty. Hey, Phil. I love the
Right.
pattern on those. It looks like lightning strikes to me.
And she's got a big old ringer.
Man.
I might actually do a full panel test on these. Because I might be talking out of my ass, but to me, these look orange dream, leopard, black pastel, and chocolate. Because when the chocolate actually grows up, I'll show you Dad. And Dad is the one that has started my black pastels.
Mhm.
And he looks just straight chocolate.
Hey, Jamie, how is Pebbles looking? I know she's in the chat. She'll be here in a little bit, but she's got a baby I'm waiting on. A mama.
Well, this is Dad. And he just looks straight chocolate now. He was in the water, or he's peeing on me or something.
He
But
looks
he's
Mojave chocolate to me.
He's the black pastel Mojave chocolate heifer clown.
Okay.
He's a big old boy.
Yeah, he is.
Yep. There's, see these two here. Now don't kiss me on my ball. These two here looks just like him, but much crazier. Like I said, when the black pastel, as it grows, it just looks chocolate. But it's the genes are in there.
How you doing? I was gonna hit
Everybody,
you up.
Nikki.
Yeah, I was gonna hit you up today. I was actually talking to Jamie about you, and I was wondering who does your t-shirts, because I'm gonna have to have some made, and I really like the one you sent me because it's a V-neck and it's so comfortable.
But this guy's name is Legion.
Legion.
Uh-huh.
I like that. Did you watch that show?
Yeah. Oh, come on, let go of me. I'm not your lady right now.
Are you still just unboxing snakes, Will?
Well, there were 9 of them. I'm looking through and figuring out which one is supposed to be the dinker. There's a dinker clown in here, and I think this one's it. You know, but they all look kind of similar, so I can't really tell. I'm not the best when it comes to IDing stuff, especially in clown.
That looks
Well,
leopard.
because I have a lot of clowns.
To me, it looks leopard citrus clown.
Oh, interesting, because this is listed as just a normal clown. She's pretty, though.
Can you hold her up to the camera a little bit more?
Oh, stop.
It's time to get a new camera. This thing's terrible. It doesn't focus well.
That's pretty.
Now, this is Mom, if you want to show Mom real quick. Mom is just the head pattern, that's it. I got her from Billy. And she is very skittish. Let me stand up. She's very skittish. For the most part, I just feed her and breed her.
Yeah.
But that's where the fire comes in, and I only think one of them had the fire. Like I said, she's very skittish.
Mm-hmm.
She's always been like that, though. But she
She's pretty.
eats amazing. Oh.
There's Miss Jamie.
Hello, guys. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Jamie.
I'm good. I'm good.
Hey, we both have.
Yeah, I got to show you the back. Got that one.
Yeah.
Thanks for sending that, and the really awesome earrings you sent me. They're great. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Got to show the love. I got to, like I said, I got to order some T-shirts eventually. I'm trying to prioritize what I need to buy, and at this point, it's a rack. So,
Are you going to order your T-shirts through Husbandry Pro, through that company?
if they would sell, I'll probably do the men's T-shirts through there. But women's T-shirts, I want like a cute V-neck, and not the ones that's for the little teenage girls. I mean, I want it to be able to fit like a men's T-shirt.
Cover everything.
Yeah, yeah, and I don't want the little hourglass thing. Yeah, I'm not all about that. I just don't like stuff that chokes me.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Yeah.
How many shirts are you trying to make?
How many shirts am I trying to make? I don't know yet. It's all gonna be, cost and everything. So,
Well, I'll send you the company that I went through. It's pretty decent quality, and if you make them in bulk, it's a pretty reasonable price. If you're looking, let's say, 2 colors for your logo, and all you do is printing it on the front. But like I did a batch of 72 shirts. They did the screen prints for, it was either $1.50 or $2 a shirt. So it was pretty cheap. Right? Their shirts were like $5 a piece for the cheap shirts. They're local to me, so I ordered a bunch of shirts from Michael's for $3 a piece, and I just brought it over to them, and they just screen printed it. So it ended up being relatively cost effective.
oh, that's good. Well, I do have a pretty bright logo, multiple colors in it, and it's not bad whenever he knows he got stickers with his snakes. But
my T-shirts are DTF, and it doesn't make any difference how many colors you got with DTF. So if they start hassling you about doing screen print, that's a good way to go.
yeah. Hey, Brian and Holly, how are y'all?
Yeah, I named one of my snakes after you, Holly.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I couldn't think of any names. I'm like, here, this is a Holly. It's a leopard triple het for hypo, pied, and clown, I believe.
Love it. Jamie she named one after me, one after Bobby, because she blamed us for her purchasing them.
It was your fault. It was your fault. You didn't do a live that weekend, so I went to an auction and I got 2 snakes. So
yeah,
it was totally your fault.
So it's Holly's fault.
To answer the question about the DTF, they hold up really well.
Okay.
I don't know what the comparison would be with screen print, but I wear my shirts every day to work in, so I've probably got some that have been washed hundreds of times. And
See, Bear, I thought you were making a joke because that acronym, I'm not familiar with shirts. I'm familiar with it meaning something completely different.
DTF.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It stands for direct to fabric, is what it's.
Got
it. You go through a company like was it like Ninja Express or whatever, and they will print the logos for you in sheets, and you cut them, and then you use an iron, and you can put them onto a shirt. So,
cool.
Depending on the size that you want, it can be relatively cost effective, especially if you're going to do, say, like front and back. With the place that was local to me, I was able to get it screen printed cheaper than what it would have cost for the DTF printing. And there's no work on my part, right? I ordered the shirts, they shipped to me, I dropped them off, and I'm like, all right, I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. So that made the decision easy for me.
Well, mine's easier than that. I pick up a phone and call them and say, hey, I want this, 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 and this. And then they call me when they're ready. So they get the shirts and the place that I use, they actually do screen print too. But the reason I ended up with the DTF is all of my stuff has got so many colors in it that they just can't screen print it. And so they suggested the DTF because of that. And I was kind of excited the other day. I know most of y'all have seen the eyeball logo that I've got, the eyeball in the onion with the ROR. Forever, I've been trying to get them to embroider that on caps. And they did me a batch of caps with DTF, and I just really didn't like them. And I kept telling this girl I deal with us, we got to revisit that embroidering that eyeball logo. And so when I went to pick all those shirts up yesterday, she says, I got a present for you. And she came out with an embroidered cap. So there's one in existence now.
Oh,
And,
that's cool.
So I gotta get an order together. I'll have some of those and some of these. I'm doing both on the caps. So
Yeah.
but I was excited. It looks so much better on the caps embroidered.
Hey, John, how are you doing? That's the guy's TikTok live I was on earlier.
Hey, Jonathan. Hey, Bear, I did find that snake. Or my son found that snake.
Oh, yeah?
He was in the pine and the cypress that was fresh. That's where he found him. I tore all these racks here. I pulled them out, looked behind them, see if he was behind there. And then I couldn't find him there. So I individually, if you see you'll see the space up there. I moved everybody up just to make sure I didn't miss him. And so I have a half a rack here, and I have almost a full rack here, and the smaller one over here. I tore all of those apart, and I still couldn't find him. I'm like, oh my God, this ain't my
Knock on
snake.
wood, I've never lost one yet.
I lost one my very first year, and it was a homemade rack that I made, and I said I'm not making a rack again, and I haven't.
I've never had a snake in anything but an ARS rack. Very first snake I ever bought went in an ARS rack, and that's all I've got. I've got 9 of them now.
Yeah.
So I'm
You're
a
crazy.
big fan.
Yeah, I haven't worked my way up to ARS yet. I just have a bunch of Reptile Basics racks. But I mean, I can just add them as I need them instead of buying like a 10 stack all in one shot and spending all that money. But one of these days.
I'm a cry once kind of guy. I'd rather just bite the bullet and
rip that Band-Aid off.
get the good stuff and be done with.
Yeah, that's
just
kind
the way
of.
I am.
A lot of people say they had these racks and they had these racks, and they spent more money doing it that way if they would have just got the all with the caboodle like Bear did.
When I started, I was buying ARSs 3 levels at a time. The 5540. The first thing I ordered was the base and 2 levels, so I had 8 tubs. And then I ordered at that time. That was like 4 years ago. And at that time, they would UPS 3 levels. Anything over 3 levels had to go on a freight truck. And so that's what I was doing. I'd get 3 levels at a time. They'd send them UPS. And I was buying friggin' snakes. And I'd buy snakes. And I'd say, you got to hold these till I get some more tubs. And because it was back during the time when there's like a 13-week wait time, you know. So here I'm waiting on 3 more levels of a rack and buying damn snakes, and by the time the rack comes in, I already got it full, and I'm ordering more levels. So
do they still do that?
When I moved into the facility I'm in now, I had that one. I had 8 levels is what I had, because it was the bottom level, and 8 more made 9, getting them 3 at a time. And so when I moved into that, I had already bought 2 or 3 more complete ARS racks, and I had them put together waiting to go into that building. When I finished the building, I did most of the work on it myself. So when we moved in, we moved that rack and 2 more in, I think it was.
Yeah.
But I've I've got more racks than I need because last year ARS ran that Black Friday sale 15% off, and I thought, I'm going to need these eventually. So I went ahead and bought. I think I bought 3 more, then 3 or 4. So I've only got room for 1 more rack in my building. I've got room for 1 more of the Mini 10, like that they call a Mini 130, but I add a level to it. It's 140.
I still need to get
I've
one of
got room
those.
for 1 more of those that I'm eventually going to need. And the only reason I hadn't bought it is because as long as I don't have that rack, I got room to keep my show displays and all that stuff in the snake barn. And if I get that rack in there, then I'm going to have to start storing them somewhere else. But that's a big. I guess if I made a mistake when I built that building, it was not having more of a place for storage. I didn't. Never thought about displays and all that kind of stuff. So all the stuff that it takes me to go to reptile shows ends up getting stored in my pool house. So
I'm going to play the sponsor video real quick, y'all, and we'll be right back.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Will, can you show that again?
What, the shirt?
Yes.
So this is the front, and then this is the back.
Awesome.
I love that back so much. Pippin ain't easy.
It just
That's
makes me laugh. There's someone in one of the Patreon groups I'm in who's an artist, and she was really happy to help me make these designs. So design number 2 is coming up. So once I have those shirts in hand, I'll be excited to show them off because these things make me laugh, and that's what's important.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a cute shirt.
So on mine, like this one, I have my QR code on it, and it's big. So that's something else that you could add to the back of your shirt. That who knows? You're walking around the store, somebody will scan you.
mine's on the sleeve.
Yep.
There you go.
Oh,
That's a good
not
idea,
a bad idea.
You'd be surprised how that comes in handy. I was at a flat fix on my truck one day, and this guy that was fixing my flat saw my license plate. My license plate on my truck's Pythons, and so we started talking about ball pythons. Turned out he had a couple of ball pythons. And he says, "You got a business card or something?" I said, "You got a phone?" He said, "Yeah." And I said, "Here, scan this." He scanned that QR code, and the QR code takes you to my link tree.
Right.
And so that's kind of handy having that link tree because that way you can add and subtract stuff. And, right now it's got my Morph Market page and Husbandry Pro store and Instagram and Facebook is what's on there. But
Yeah, it's nice.
I'm in a process of trying to build me a website. So
I am too. And whenever you figure out how to do it, let me know.
well, the funny thing is I have literally designed 4 websites in my life, and the first one goes back so far that I actually learned how to do the HTML code, and I did it the old-fashioned way, writing code.
Oh wow!
And so then when the second one came around, there was a program called it was a Microsoft program called Front Page. And I bought it, and it's kind of a,
Brian Holly, I have that same
yeah,
thing.
you know, it was really easy, and then they kind of made it obsolete, quit updating it and all that stuff. So by the time I did my last one, I used an online deal called Homestead. And so when I got ready to do this one, I went looking for Homestead again. And apparently web.com just recently bought out Homestead. And so that's what I'm using. Web.com is what I'm using. And it's changed so much. It's been 18 years since I did my last one. So
Oh, wow.
things are much different. Java was non-existent when I did my last web page.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it's just everything's so much different that I'm kind of struggling. And two, I'm probably not as enthusiastic about it as I once was either.
Yeah.
So, you know, one of these days I want it to happen, but it's not something that's really huge.
Yeah.
I did end up this week going through Square and setting up a store with Square. You can use Square and set up an online store through them. And so I did that just to be able to put like my T-shirts and all that kind of stuff on there.
Right.
And I don't sell a lot of that stuff anyway. I promise you, in the 4 years I've been doing this, I have not sold enough T-shirts and caps and hoodies to pay for the ones I've given away.
Yep, that's true.
So,
Everybody's like that, I think.
I
I've
had some in the very beginning. They didn't sell at all.
I've had tons of people that, you know, they'll contact me. Hey, I want to buy a T-shirt. Send me your address. So I just send them a T-shirt. And
I have a great story for you guys. I was vending a show in Pennsylvania, and the vendor next to me who I'd bought my pair of boas from, she had a boa around her neck. The tail was like inside her shirt, and then the snake decided to go to the bathroom inside of her shirt. So
oh no,
she comes running over. I had walked away, my kids are there, and she's like, "Tell your dad I'm taking the shirt." So I think that was the first shirt I ever sold.
I want to answer this question real quick, Brian and Holly. If you have Husbandry Pro, you can actually set one up through there, and that to me is the easiest way to do it. Okay.
Well, Holly, you were asking about Pebbles. So she's about ready to burst any day. And so Pebbles is my Super Barnhart Black Pastel, Banana, Orange Dream, Leopard, Possible Spectre Girl. And we paired her to, I got from Tom Barnhart, and she gave him 6 eggs last year, but she's been eating ASF buffet. So we'll see how many eggs I get from her this year. But she was paired to a Orange Dream Desert Ghost that I got from Redhead Reptiles. So that's what, and she's due next week. So she's ready to pop. Her tail is.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's so big.
I have one due on the 3rd, and I think she's about to lay like probably this weekend sometime. And
I've had smaller clutches this year, but I've had bigger eggs.
Wow.
Almost every clutch I've had this year, the eggs have averaged over 100 grams. That clutch that out of that Black Pastel double het clown pied this week, she laid 7 eggs, and I think it was 794 grams.
Wow. That
those 7 eggs weighed. So I don't really know what makes the difference, but I think all in all, I'd rather have more eggs as bigger eggs. But anyway, it is what it is.
I just want eggs make for bigger babies too, so that's always good.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. I think you'll get a lot
eat
bigger
better.
babies,
I feel,
and they seem to thrive.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one clutch that I was showing everybody earlier, I was a little worried in the beginning because a lot of them were like 50 and 60 grams.
See, that was I've only had one clutch. That was my first clutch. They were smaller eggs. I got 11 small eggs, and they were all about that. And then I had one that came out and he was like only 23 grams, and I had to assist feed him for a little while, but he's doing real good. But these eggs I have in the incubator are big, and then we'll wait and see what Pebbles looks like next week.
Yeah.
Like,
Ours are
9
big.
clutches so far this year, and almost every egg I've had's been over 100 grams.
I mean,
Nice.
this clutch had 5 eggs. It was 417 grams. I'm like, oh, all right, if these hatch, I'm in trouble. But they look to be a decent size.
Yeah.
you know, if you notice, a lot of these eggs, they're laid a certain size, but as they grow, that actually egg will grow also
Mm.
as the baby grows in there.
I mean, I was worried because I bought this pied girl ready to breed, and I bred her for 18 months. She just wasn't having any of it. I was like, oh, all right, I spent all this money with this girl, and it's just not going to happen. And then I look in one day, and she'd been sitting on the eggs for like 3 days. I'm like, oh, that's what I get for slacking.
Like, I have this one girl, she laid 5 eggs, but 2 of them were slugs. She was a first-time mom. He was a first-time dad, and it was a disco leopard clown to a spot nose pastel fire yellow belly redhead female.
Mm.
And the eggs that actually were viable. They were huge. They were probably from here to here on my hand, and they're due in about, say, 28 days.
Nice.
Nice. Will Brian and Holly want to know the genetics in that? You just said.
Yep. Let me type that in. It's just a Pastavi pie that's hetero BPI to what's supposed to be just a regular pie.
We're all watching him type all quiet.
We're listening to it.
You know, like I had made a mistake pairing her because I didn't have enough males. So I think that the first male that went to her was a lav het pied, and then what else I put to her? I think I put a Candino het pied to her as well that I think only paired with her once. But if either of those had been the dad, I'd have no idea what these hatchings are.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like,
If
all right, let me
anything-
never do that again.
Yeah.
If anything, whoever gets them, let them know that, and then they can test it if they want to.
Yeah. I mean, my luck, it would be a split clutch.
See, with it being that, you just don't know. Yeah, like that male that went missing today. He's being paired to like 5 females, and he decided to take a hike, but we ended up getting him. He can't get out. He's actually under a lock and key now.
He just wanted to rest. 5 girls.
He's eating really good. Every time I take him out of the female's tub, I give him a rat. And today, see, I cleaned this whole rack the other day. Like, when I say tub cleaning, is actually cleaning the whole tub and put new. I will switch the cypress. I'm not using the cocoa right now. And I switched everything, made it all nice and clean for him. He decided he didn't like the area and left.
Why did you switch to Cypress?
Money's tight. That's
Yeah.
basically, and I
Fair
have
enough.
over 200, which I have my partner, I have pretty much his whole breeding collection. What's not here, someone else has a breeding loan with 2 other snakes. So I went up from 90 snakes to almost 200 snakes, like almost overnight.
Wow.
So I
That's
had to do
impressive.
something, and I wasn't gonna kill myself in the process. So I switched to cypress. I get like three bags of cypress cost me $18.
Yeah.
I can't find cypress down here. All the vendors here sell it for what's like $15 a bag. So
No, I just go to Menards and get it.
yeah, they don't have it here. Home Depot and Lowe's don't carry it because I'm out in New York.
Mm.
Oh, that I'm
Melinda,
not
where are
sure.
you at?
I'm out of Independence, Missouri.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
there's
I'm flat right in the middle of the country.
there's a company. There's a vendor that sells cocoa at Oaks, the Super East Coast Reptile Expo, and I've been there every other month. But I'm able to buy cocoa in bulk. I buy like 10, 12 blocks at a time.
Yeah.
It's $10 a block. Now, it's kind of crappy, but for $10 a block, it's like, all right, I'll suck it up and deal with
That's
it.
still a lot of money, no matter how you look at it. When you gotta dump that much money all at once it's just tough these days.
Oh, you talking about buying cocoa in bulk? I wish I could show you how I buy it.
Oh no, we don't want to see your bill.
Yeah, I don't have the space for a pallet.
I
My wife
I
would
buy
bury me in
cocoa
it.
in
He
in
probably has a
20
problem from the
20
truckload.
cubic foot bags that you pick up with a forklift.
Wow.
No,
Dang.
no, I'm good. I'm good.
I wish I had that space.
I bed my rats in cocoa too.
Mhm.
Actually, we mix rice hulls and cocoa. It's about a 60% rice hulls, 40% cocoa fiber mix. And
Isn't
we
it
put
that
we put
fine
the rice
stuff?
hulls on the bottom and the cocoa on top, and
Mm.
let the rats do the mixing. So
That's
it works
neat.
out. It works out pretty well. The cocoa really helps with the odor. And
Yeah.
the rice hulls are very absorbent and very cheap. I live real close to rice country. It's about a 25-minute drive for me to go to the rice mill and pick up rice hulls. As a matter of fact, I picked up rice hulls last week, and I get the rice hulls the same way in those 20 cubic foot bulk bags,
Mhm.
and I picked up 8 of them
He says
the
the
other
smell
day.
isn't that bad.
So I got those are 250 pounds a piece. So I bought a ton of rice hulls the other day, and I buy the rice hulls in those 20 cubic foot bags, 250 pounds at a time, for $40.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Can't beat
wow.
that.
Yeah, 20.
Man.
It basically the way it works is it's $25 for the bag, and $15 for them to put the rice hulls in the bag, and the rice hulls are free.
Yeah.
They
So-
told me if I'd send a hopper bottom over there, they'd give me a trailer truckload for free.
Wow.
But I don't know what I'd do with a hopper bottom load of rice hulls. So
That's
at
funny.
least in the bulk bags, I can handle them. And basically, I built a couple of bins that are on wheels, so that we roll them out of the rat barn, so we can raise that big bulk bag up. You just cut the bottom out of the bag and let it fall into these bins. And the bins are made where they've got a slatted front, whereas you use them, you can take a slat out, as it gets
Oh.
lower in the bin, so you can scoop them out. And we've got one for rice hulls and one for cocoa, and they're sitting in the rat barn where we fill tubs. So it all works out pretty good. It's been the best mix I've come up with. I've used the pine pellets and the pine shavings. I use corn cob, and I do like the corn cob, but it was just not handy for me, and it's definitely not cheap. But
Isn't that what Scott and Jordan uses?
it is, yeah. I went to St. Louis and picked the corn cob up from the same place they buy it. Only difference is they're buying it in 30-pound bags, and I was buying it in the bulk bags. 200. Let's see, the corn cob. I think the bulk bag's 1,000 pounds. So
Oh, wow.
I went up there and bought 2 bags just to try it out. And as I said, I like it okay, but I didn't think it was any better. At that time, I was using pine pellets and pine shavings. and I didn't think it was any for me. I didn't think it was any better, and it was a lot more trouble. Probably not any more expensive, but I had to drive. You know, it was an all-day deal just to go up there and get it. And this with the rice hulls, I'm 25 minutes away, and you know I call them. I usually try to call them the week before, and they have them ready for me. I just go there and pick them up, and we stack them up. I've got a big building that's got 16-foot walls. I can stack those up. I usually stack them too high. If you get much more than that, they get kind of hinky on you.
Yeah.
So, but I buy the cocoa that I use in the snake barn. I'm using the same stuff, but they bag it in it's like a 1.8 cubic foot bag. Holly, you've probably seen them because I always have them. I sell those at shows.
Yeah.
And so I buy those from the same place, and it's the same stuff, but I buy that like a pallet at a time. Usually when I go up there, I'll get like 4 of the big bags and 2 pallets and bring a trailer load home. So it's just easier for me to use those plastic bags in the snake barn because I don't have a way to get the big bag in there. So, and it's not with the cocoa, it's not really all that much cheaper to buy it in the big bags. It's just a lot handier for me because it's a whole lot easier to handle one big bag than a bunch of little bags. You know,
Right.
It just depends what you can store too. So,
Will, I had a question for you on this because you're not the only person I've seen use Orbeez. Can you reuse those?
They're so cheap. I throw them out. Like the cheap ones on Amazon, you get like 200,000-300,000 beads. It's like $10-12. Also, all I do is I put them into a container with warm water. I throw them in the incubator, and they need like 8 hours to be ready, and then I have a supply of them ready to go. Like,
let's see here.
This is supposed to be pipping tomorrow. I'm trying to resist the urge to cut them now, but I put half a grouting sponge in the middle, more for structure than anything else, and then I pour the Orbeez around the side. And then the light diffuser, and then have the eggs. I really like these 6-quart hefty tubs. They're a little taller, and they're not quite as wide as the shoe boxes. So I don't ever have to worry about these eggs like touching the top. You see, there's a lot of space up there. Like once I separate the eggs, I could stack them if I wanted to.
Yeah.
Do those boxes seal, or are you using press and seal?
No, they don't seal. They just like flip over like your typical shoebox.
With the Orbeez, I never have to worry about humidity. So once a week, I come in and I check them. I open them up and look at them, make sure everything's looking okay. I've maybe once I've had to add a few more Orbeez in there, but I don't have issues with it drying out. So I don't have to worry about the press and seal and having to take it off before they pip, so they don't suffocate.
See, I'm old school there too. I use the.
I mean, in reality,
no, it won't even come to me. Not perlite.
You're getting old, Bear.
Holy shit!
Yeah, that's what I use too.
I had a brain cramp. I get that
a brain cramp.
super big vermiculite from Uline, and it always makes me laugh. You get on YouTube and look at these videos of people getting egg boxes ready, and they're trying to describe to you what that shit feels like. Well, you don't want to be able to wring water out of it, but it needs to stick together, kind of like this and all this. And if you find I know it's still on YouTube somewhere, but it's Ozzy, and Ozzy will tell you in the video that it goes all the way back to the Snake Keeper when they got started. They're the ones that originally came up with it, and it's so easy, it's stupid. You put 5 cups of vermiculite and 1 cup of water, and mix it up, and that's my kind of thing. I like a recipe. It's consistent. It's not about what you're feeling. It's not. And that's what I do in every egg box. I put 5 cups of vermiculite, 1 cup of water, and I use bottled water. That's the only thing that I use bottled water for. I use bottled water and mix it up with my hand and level it off. And I put the eggs in there right on the vermiculite. And
Right on the vermiculite.
I use
Yeah.
the gasket boxes from Sterilite. They have a gasket in them where they seal tight, and I don't fuck with them.
Exactly.
I put eggs in the box. I put the box in the incubator, and if at all possible, I don't even move it in the incubator. I just put it in there and forget
Leave it
about
alone.
it for 6 weeks. And at 6 weeks, I take it out and set it on the table and open the lid and say, well, look, there's those eggs I put in here 6 weeks ago. And I fan it a little bit, put some fresh air in there, and I put the lid back on, and I put it back in the incubator, and I forget about it for another week.
Those
And
gasket boxes?
On week 7, I start opening it every day. And the only reason I do that is just to see if something's pipped.
Yeah.
And I started week 7, I open every day and look, and if something pips, I cut the rest of them. And if not, when we get to day 56, I cut them all. And so far, so good. It's worked for me consistently. Nice. I see so many people, in these groups on Facebook and stuff, and they're like, why are my eggs all shriveled up and they're drying up and they look like this? And I think it's because 3 times a day you're getting them out of the incubator and looking at them.
Yeah.
Just leave them alone.
Well, I'm just using that water and the hatch tray and the press and seal, and I seal it up. And I used Orbeez the year before that, and I used Hatch Right the year before that, and I used Vermiculite the year before that. But I did notice when I used the gasket boxes, they would, in my incubator, no change of temperature or anything. I noticed the gasket boxes, they go 60 days instead of 57. But when I use that press and seal, it's more like 57. So
Yeah,
I didn't.
That probably lets in a little more heat. Or maybe it doesn't let out as much heat because the eggs will create some heat as they're growing.
Yeah.
But I mean, speaking of like wrinkled and deflated,
I think that's ready.
I wish I could show you the 3 eggs that I'm going to cut tomorrow, because they still look exactly like they did the day this mama laid them. I mean, I noticed that. I cut 9 times out of 10 when I cut eggs. When I cut that egg with the scissors, it squirts out. They're under pressure.
Yeah.
that happened too.
That's what my eggs. It was really funny. The last clutch that I cut, that Ultramel pod clutch, all of them but one shriveled up, and that's the only time I've ever had a clutch do that. It's kind of funny, Billy uses the big scissors to cut eggs. And you know how he'll pinch that egg together, to get that place to cut. You can't do that to my eggs for shit. I promise you can't. You cannot pinch my eggs like that. Now, this last clutch that I got out of that Ultramel pod, you could. That's the only clutch I've ever had that was that way, and I don't know what was different. I didn't do anything any different. And what was really weird about it is, out of 6 eggs, 5 of them were where I could pinch them and cut them like that, and the other one squirted when I cut it. So all of them in the same box. And I don't separate my eggs either. Every time mama lays them, that's the way to go in the box. So
I separate them and then I try to lay them back in the same position.
I usually candle mine and make sure the embryo's up.
Yeah.
I'm 89.5 on the thermostat.
That's what I run mine at 89.5, and my sensor push. I've got 2 sensor pushes in my incubator, one on the top shelf, one on the bottom shelf, and my sensor pushes show an average of about 89.3. Usually, it's really kind of weird. Usually, the bottom of my incubator is warmer than the top. and usually the bottom is 89.4 and the top's 89.1.
You know,
But I've got two really big. They're pancake fans, sort of like computer fans, but they're a lot bigger. They're like 6 or 7 inch diameter fans, and they move a huge amount of air in that incubator, and that's the reason why I've got them in there. I think airflow is everything in an incubator, keeping that temperature the same. And I've got that attitude about everything. My room is the same way. I've got a 11 by 32 room. They've got 3 ceiling fans in it, and they run in reverse so that the air's going down the walls all the time. And then I've got a big, like a squirrel cage fan at one end that moves a huge amount of air from one end of the building to the other. And the temperatures in my room are very consistent, top to bottom. We had some weather last winter. It was 9 degrees outside, and I went in my snake barn that morning when it was 9 degrees and took my temperature gun and shot the floor and the ceilings and the walls and the racks, and everything in there was between 79 and 80 degrees. So yeah, I think it's all about air movement.
Yeah.
It's kind of unnerving to work in there because it's noisy as hell with the fans going.
Yeah.
The bottom of my incubators, both of them run about 86.5 to 87 degrees. And then at the top, it's another 2 degrees warmer. So depending on where the top is laying, that has an impact on when they hatch. I've been averaging about 59 days. I mean, they come out, they're decent size, they're healthy. I think last year, I didn't know what I was doing, and I ran it a degree higher, but it was like a 2 degree difference inside the incubator, and then they were hatching out at like day 50. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I
wow.
need to fix that.
Billy says that in his incubator, he can tell the difference between the front of the box and the back of the box because the heat tape's on the back of the incubator.
Yeah.
And he says the back is a little bit warmer. And again, that's the reason why I like all that airflow, because I just don't have that. You can check the temperature inside. I can move those sensor pushes around, and anywhere I want to put them, it's going to be between 89.1 and 89.3. And
Right.
I don't think there's anything I can do to get it any closer than that. But
the back of mine is about a degree or so warmer. But like every week or two, if I remember, I'll take the egg boxes and I'll just turn them around and rotate them.
Yep.
I gave up some space in my incubator to put those 2 big fans in there, and I've always felt it was worth it just to have that airflow.
I have a pair of 120 millimeter fans in the bigger one, and it doesn't seem to make a difference. Right, but when I put the thermometers, and I'll use the same one, and I'll measure the temperature at the bottom versus at the top, it's about the same.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I do have another podcast I have to jump on now.
Busy woman.
Thanks for having me on, Holly.
Absolutely. Anytime. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And we'll see you guys Wednesday. We're having Casey from, what's it? Jeff's Reptiles. I don't even know how you say it, Jamie.
Goffs.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Goff. That's it. Okay. Thank you again, everybody.
Thanks,
Bye,
guys.
y'all.
Bye.
Bye.